From the bustling lakefront walking trails in Owen Brown to the lively and active neighborhoods of Clarksville, to the peaceful beauty of the Cattail area and the vibrant communities of Columbia and the historic charm of Savage, Howard County is rich in diversity and spirit. Despite our neighborhood's unique identities, we're united together by one thing, and it's right here, the Johns Hopkins Howard County Medical Center.
We're a fairly busy hospital. We see about 76,000 emergency department patients per year. That's adults and kids. And we admit about 20,000 patients a year.
Despite an 18% population boom in Howard County, Medical Center President Dr. Shafiq Ahmed says the hospital hasn't had a bed expansion since 2010.
So we are a 262-bed hospital. We're the only hospital in the county.
Nowhere is the impact of the county's growth felt more than in the emergency department.
Maryland has some of the longest wait times in the country. Johns Hopkins Howard County Medical Center is about average for Maryland.
A problem made worse by the spike in the number of patients seeking help for a mental health issue or behavioral health crisis who show up for treatment in the emergency department.
Behavioral health is the term for all problems of mental life, from the cradle to the grave. Like, look to your left, look to your right. Out of the three of you, pretty much assured one of you is going to have a problem at some point.
Dr. Andrew Angelino is the chair of the psychiatry department at the medical center, which is seeing about 11 or 12 behavioral health patients a day, an average of more than 250 adults and children a month. There are currently only 6 beds in the emergency department's behavioral health unit, or BHU. Other behavioral health patients wait in the ER along with everyone else. That's what happened when Melissa Curtin and her husband took a dear friend in mental distress to the medical center in June.
I heard the man at registration say at one point there were 90 people. Every seat in the emergency department was full. There were people who were hooked up on IVs. They were bringing out blankets to people. It was really jam-packed. It was clear to anybody who was in the room that she was struggling. People were staring at her. She knew they were staring at her, and that exacerbated the situation.
And if you're going to go home, you might be able to go home within several hours. But if you're going to be admitted because you need to be in the hospital, you may be in our emergency department for more than a day, which means that we've just tied up a medical bay where the typical time somebody's in and out of there is about 4 hours. So we may have taken up the spot for 6 other people to come, be evaluated, and be released.
Curtin says her friend received excellent care after being escorted back to the BHU. But the space itself leaves a lot to be desired.
Our space is not very comfortable. It's not very conducive to healing because it's very bare and stark. It's also in a corner where there's no windows. So it's kind of dark all the time. And it's just not big enough.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm glad you could join us this morning.
The Johns Hopkins Howard County Medical Center Foundation and the Foundation Board are launching a campaign to raise $3 million to build a new behavioral health unit, expanding the space from 1,500 square feet to 7,000 square feet, and increasing the number of beds from 6 to 24. It's called Together, Let's Support Our Neighborhood Hospital.
If everybody joined in and donated, then we could really, as a community, approach this problem as a whole.
Construction is already underway. What is now a windowless, dark space in the back of the emergency department will be replaced by a light-filled, state-of-the-art, comfortable space, one that's better for the patients and the staff.
It's got windows, it's got light, it's going to have artwork, it's going to have all the things that make it calming and healing, activity areas, and a much more open design so that the patients will be able to interact with the staff better.
The state of Maryland and Howard County have each given $2 million for the BHU expansion, which will likely cost $10 million. County Executive Calvin Ball says it's going to take everyone working together to make it happen.
Together, we can ensure that we have a healthier community. Together, we can have a more well life. And together, we can ensure that on sometimes some of our most difficult days or the most difficult days of our family members, we can have our neighborhood hospital have the resources that they need to be successful, because when they are successful, we're successful.
Every single dollar helps, because everything is more expensive when you're putting it in a psych area than when you're putting it in a regular hospital.
So together, we can all support our neighborhood hospital so that everyone has access to these critical behavioral health services, and everyone can get the supports they need.
We want to be ready for all of these occasions. We want to be ready for all of our community. So it is important for them to invest in their community. And the nice thing about the Hopkins health system is that when you're investing in a local hospital, that money stays local for that hospital.
Several donors have already kicked off the campaign.
So I think when people hear the word donor, sometimes they think that it's got to be this astronomical figure. But, I grew up, my world has been a penny profit business. And, 1 penny at a time, a nickel and a dime, you can actually accomplish and create great things.
Together, let's support our neighborhood hospital. We're calling on schools, businesses, 501c3 organizations, and neighborhoods to raise important funds to support the hospital's expansion. All of the donations will go to support the new behavioral health unit here at the Johns Hopkins Howard County Medical Center. And let's create a little friendly competition as well. Which school or organization will raise the most money for this cause and be named the donor champion? To get started, visit the link below and simply scroll to the bottom of the page and select the call to action button that applies to you. Thank you for your support.
شكرا. Gracias.
Shukriya.
谢谢你. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Together, let's invest in our